Hello guys, this is Retro Gamer 06. How's everyone doing today? Today is a book review. Yes, I finally finished The Sundering, the first book of The Sundering, The Companions. But before I go any further, subscribe to my channel. Please drop a like. It does help me out with my channel. So guys, I finished book just a few days ago. I just collect my thoughts on it. You know, I love this book. Really good book. Great book. Um, it's for those who are not familiar. Now, this is a single book. This is not like a trilogy or a quadrilogy like the previous books in the series. Yeah, so this is it's a standalone book per se, but not really. It does continue where uh, the fourth book of the Neverwinter Saga left off, which is the last threshold. It continues where this book left off, at least the prologue, and then but then during the book it kind of skips back and forth different years. Uh, then the epilogue it goes back to the present. So the subject consists of, like I said, of several standalone books. Like this is obviously R.A. Salvatore. As you can see on the cover, you got Drizzt and Guinevere. Uh, Other books written by like Paul Kemp and all that good stuff. So the first Sundering, from my understanding, occurs uh, in age of time around 17,600 DR before humans came to Toril at a time when Elven High Mages united to create the Evermeet Lance, and while the second Sundering, uh, this was equally catalytic, but occurring in recent times. This is beginning of 1484. Again, that's the year where the fourth book of the Neverwinter Saga left off. Um, about 100 years after the Spell Plague. So the natural disasters and calamities, flash across the planet, Toril, earthquakes, you got vast flooding, wars, droughts, and volcanic eruptions. It just tore the world apart. And then by 1489, is a little kind of a few years ahead, that the world changed physically and culturally. Uh, the Spell Plague, which I believe was in the Transition trilogy, has caused a huge change of the planet. But yeah, I think this is during the second the Sundering. Uh, I'm gonna read the back. Here's the spine. Uh, it says on the back, on the dusty plains of Netheril, a young, bedight girl spins a web of forbidden magic, obliterating a pair of assassins with a single lightning strike. On the banks of the Sea of Fallen Stars, a tiny thief walks willingly into battle with a ruthless killer, a wide grin upon his face. In the tunnels of Citadel Felbar, a dwarfling is ambushed and strikes back with an attack well beyond his apparent strength and years. These three seemingly unrelated commoners grown up across the far reaches of the Forgotten Realms hold the fate of Faerun's most famous dark elf, Dredge Erden, in their hands. But that fate is far from certain, for in the shadows a cunning cabal of wizards is watching, intent on hunting chosen mortals blessed by the gods. These wizards know something mere commoners do not. Long forgotten gods have begun to stir, long lost lands have begun to tremble. The world around them is about to change, and these wizards will do whatever it takes to turn the coming chaos to their advantage. In this first book of the six-book centering series, New York Times best-selling author R.A. Salvatore launches a major world-shaping event that will revive old favorites, introduce new complications, and move his signature hero Drizzt into a restored era of the Forgotten Realms. So, and this is where the spoiler comes in. So yes, this is gonna be some spoilers. So if you haven't read the series, or if you haven't gotten this far, you might want to wait and watch this video. So here it is. So in the previous books, the companions of the Hall, consists of Drizzt, Wulfgar, Catti-brie, Regis, and Bruenor. Uh, they perished not throughout the books, but kind of recently, not too far behind. And the Transition trilogy, I can't remember which book it was. Uh, it was either the Ghost King or the Pirate King, I think. During the spell plague, that's when it occurred in those books. Catti-brie and Regis fell through that. They perished, so they only left Drizzt and Bruenor. Now, Wulfgar did lead the group. He went back to his tribe of the Elk in Icewind Dale. Uh, I don't know what his fate really was. I want to say, I think he just died of old age, if I'm not mistaken. So, for a while, it was just Drizzt and Bruenor. And of course, in Gauntlgrym, that's the ancient Dwarven kingdom, and also the same name of the first book of the Neverwinter saga, Bruenor fell. So now Drizzt has new companions, Dahlia, Artemis, uh, the female cleric Dor, I can't, and Burgess, I think, and a monk, which I can't pronounce his name. That's my cat, Diane. I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize she was going to jump on my chair. Uh, so, yeah. Um, in this book, and this is the reason why it's called The Companions, they are reincarnate. Yes, the characters come back. Because I think I mentioned this in my previous book review, the fourth book. Drizzt is like near death, at the end. So the companions come back in a different life to reunite to help Drizzt back. So Catti-brie is Ruke, I think is taken her name. Regis is Spider Pericola Topolino. It's a weird name, I know. Bruenor, uh, Reginald, Roundshield, and later Bonigo Battle Axe. So they are reborn. They are blessed by the goddess Milikai or Mililiki, the unicorn goddess, uh, his goddess. Um, they gave. I think Catti-brie also worked with the goddess as Drizzt. So this goddess gives them a second chance in life. And that's really what this whole book is about. It's them reliving their new lives, and they had to wait 21 years of the equinox. So, like I said, this book bounces back and forth different years. Um, that's the gist of the story, really. Uh, you know, these characters that they come back, they reunite at the end, and I won't say much, but the last chapter or the epilogue was very emotional to me. It really hit me. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of teary-eyed at the end, but in a good way. In a good way, because Drizzt lost so much. Because it's been 100 years since Catti-brie and Regis fell, and so now they're reunited. It's just heartwarming. Very good book. So like I said, they're reliving their second lives. So therefore, there's not like big major battles or big wars. But don't let that discourage you. It's still a good read. If you've gotten this far in the series like I have, you'll appreciate this book. It's a must read. Like I said, this takes place after the Neverwinter Saga, so be sure to read that before you dive into this. It's going to be kind of a spoiler if you don't. It's a great read. I love this book. Uh, so one of the biggest things I do like about this book is Regis. Now, Regis, he's a halfling. If you guys read the series, if you know the characters, you know who I'm talking about. Regis, I wouldn't say he's a coward per se, but he's always kind of like running and hiding from fights. Every now and then he would be helpful to his friend, but his new life in this book, he is just he's awesome now. He gets trained how to use a rapier, sword. He's more brave. He's a guy you don't want to mess with. He's completely different. Same characters, but it's a different body, different life. So yeah, he's got it. It's Rages, but he's more. I guess what I'm trying to say is he's more mature. He's not. He doesn't shy away from fights anymore. So yeah, so he could be a very useful companion later in the book. That's why I cannot wait to read the next book, which is a trilogy. I think it's the Codex. Uh, so I cannot wait to start that trilogy. Very, very good. Oh, and also you have minor characters. Dibaldor Went. He's a Battle Ranger dwarf. I think I mentioned this in the previous book review. He does die, but he becomes a vampire, and it's kind of a sad story for him too. Uh, he kind of helps Brunar. I think he returns Brunar's one-horned helmet because Wet has been a loyal you know bodyguard to Brunar. Like he really cared for his king, and I hate to see it as a vampire. Poor guy. He does not deserve that fate. Uh, but yeah, he's still around. And then you have Jarlaxle. Yes, I think everyone's favorite drow. The guy with the eye patch, the big brim hat. He does have a cameo in this book, although not a big role. Kind of towards the end a little bit. That's when he appears. Uh, at this point, he has his own tavern called One Eye Jack's. At first, it didn't click, but as I kept reading the book, I'm like, wait a minute, One Eye Jack's. And it was so easy to connect the dot. I'm like, I bet you that's Jarlaxle's place. Sure enough, it was him. So, yeah. So he kind of suspect what's going on because we all know he's a mercenary spy. Great character, too. So, yeah, he's got a little cameo in this. Not a major character in this book, but he is in this book. So, anyway, guys, that's my review for this fantastic book. Like I said, this is the first book in the Legend of Dread series where it's just a single book. But again, like I said, it's not a standalone per se. It is a continuation after the Neverwinter Saga. So, yeah, great book. I love it. Uh, Very, very emotional, especially if you've been reading this since the first book, the Dark Elf trilogy. You're gonna love this book. If you've gotten this far as I have, this book will feel right at home for you. You will not regret this great read. I think the hardcover is not that expensive. I think it's like 20 something dollars. So if you're not a big fan of the paperback trade, you can get the hardcover. I think for like 20 something dollars. Maybe it's 30. I don't really know exactly. So yeah, that is it. The companions. What do you guys think? What is your favorite book? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm gonna take a little quick break because I'm kind of going back to reading The Witcher, you know. But I will go back to the Dress books. I promise. I cannot wait to read the next trilogy. again, which is the Codex. I'm not sure what that means, but that's the next one in line. So anyway, guys. Oh, and before I forget to mention, for those who are wondering, this is part 27. Yes, this is book 27. So as of right now, there is 37 or 38 books. Yeah, altogether be 39, but book 39 is not even out yet. But that won't come out till next year. Because if y'all know R.A. Salvatore, he releases a book once a year. So anyway, guys, that is it for my today's review. I hope you enjoyed it. Uh, you know, I'll do more book reviews as they come. I'm still uploading Final Fantasy 7 walkthrough. I hope you're enjoying that. I hope it's helping you guys out through the game. So anyway, guys, this is Ranger Gamer 06. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button for me. And I'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Bye.